Hello, welcome to my channel. I'm Sheila. Good to see everybody today. You can make a comment today. I won't be able to see all of them, but I will go back and read them. We're going to do some little diggers today, if you want to call them that, or little shovels. And I got these a little while back and forgot I had them, found them in my stash. But I'm going to do this one up kind of for fall, so we can use that on into the fall. And I live in the south, so we have a long time of warm weather before it gets any cool at all. I'm going to be using part of this sunflower transfer. I got this a few years ago. I believe it was a folk art brand. I don't know if you can still find them, but you can find plenty of these transfers. So we're going to take it off the backing. How I prepared for it is I went ahead and put a little bit of clear wax on there. So I've got some clear wax here and here. Because you should put some clear wax on something that's like metal so that you can make sure that your transfer is going to stay on there. So let's see. I think we're going to put it this direction right here. I'm just going to place it on there, and I might not get all of this leaf on this side, but that's okay. We're going to do what we can. I have a little paint on the handle because I was trying out my paint to see if those are the colors I wanted. So it's a little bit harder to do it on this kind of surface, but it should work. So we're just going to try it. You want it to be looking a little opaque to come off. Now some transfers are different than others. Sometimes you can't really tell. You just kind of have to lift an edge and look at it. This is a little stick that came with one of my transfers, and I like using a stick. Glad to have everybody today. You can always go back and replay. Share me out. Be sure and hit the subscribe button and subscribe to my channel. I've got some other videos there. And we're going to hope that this one works well. Let's see how we're doing here. Sometimes it takes just a little bit to get an edge where you can see if it's coming off. Okay, this one's doing good. This one's doing really, really good. Doing good so far. We're just going to keep pushing. And see, that little edge right there wasn't done, so we're going to go back over it. And sometimes they don't come out perfect, y'all. Try to do the best you can. If you have little spots, that's okay. That makes it look more vintage if it doesn't all come off. And sometimes it's a little harder to do it on a surface like this. So you just have to be a little patient, and you can kind of see it starts getting a little opaque, and you can tell that your print is coming off when you look at it and it looks kind of opaque. So we're not going to worry about those edges at all. We're just going to get off the best we can. And if you just see a place, just go back over it. I like using a stick. You can use any kind of stick that you like. I love these sticks that come with it. That's just my favorite way of doing it. And we're just going to take a minute and get this all the way down. Just keep pulling off. Now you're going to see a little green right there because that was on the edge. So you always could wrap it over if you wanted to. So don't let that bother you. And when I first started doing these, I found them a little intimidating, and then I was like, no, it's okay. So you can put some clear varnish on these, or you can put a little bit more wax, because if you don't, they're going to try to come off of your surface. So just be patient with it. Usually takes not long at all to do these, y'all. Just when you have these little petals, you kind of have to go on each one. And don't push too hard because you don't want to scratch it. You don't want to scratch it as you're doing it. Thanks to all of you who have already subscribed to my channel. I certainly appreciate that. And just keep using your little tool. And keep scraping it. So we're going to put the sunflowers, going to use this on into fall. And that wax is helping quite a bit. Otherwise, we would be coming off with this. The wax does help hold it on. Okay, so it's not perfect, and that's okay. We don't have to worry about perfect. This is your burnishing piece now. The side that you took it off from, the sticky side. You want to just go back over your print, just like this, and that's going to help it stay down on your surface. So you always want to kind of burnish it afterwards. Oh, that looks good. That looks good on there. Isn't that pretty? That's starting us out. I like it. Well, good. I see some people have jumped on. Welcome, welcome. I can't see comments like I do on one of the other platforms that I'm on, but I'm glad that you're here. Oh, I see you now, Addison. Good to see you. Thank you. So that's our little sunflowers. Now we're going to rust this up a little bit. So if you've ever had these and you bought new, you can't find the old ones, you can paint them up. You can use coffee grunge. You could use any kind of paints you want. What I like to do is do some paints with my dry brush. And so I am using a little bit of Orange by Waverly today. Some Elephant by Waverly, some cinnamon stick, which I poured way too much out of. I might have to paint something else cinnamon because I got way too much. And a little bit of brown from Afraid Not called Fudgesicle. And we may use just a tad of the sheepskin. I don't know that I'll use any of that. So the way that I do mine is I take my brush and I dip it in whatever paint I want first. So let's say I'm going to stick it in the cinnamon stick. And then I get a little bit off on my napkin because you don't want a ton. And you're just going to tap it where you want a little rust look. So we want a little bit down here too because this is going to be a little rusty. And kind of try to make your rust on an edge that looks kind of natural. You could do the whole thing if you want to. So let's say you found this out and so you just want to kind of do a lot more than just take it wherever you want to. And then put a little bit on your handle and a little bit on this piece. I'm going to leave this orange because that's going to match up with what I want for fall. Now I'm going to take a little bit of the pumpkin, and pumpkin is a great orange color to use for anything. And I'm just going to tap that just in it just a little bit. Just a little bit. You're going to see that the colors are going to end up blending in. Now let's put a little bit of that gray, because you want a little gray in there, because you sometimes have a little gray in your brush. Kind of just do it like you like. This is the way that I was taught to do it, was to add a little bit of these colors. The gray is going to tone it down just a little bit in places and make it look more like an old piece. So we're just taking a little bit of gray, and we're going to put that in. Now we're going to put a little bit up in here, and that's going to tone that down just a little bit. You could also use some black. I like to personally use a little brown. So I'm going to use a little of the Fudgesicle. I'm going to take a little of it off. And the brown, you know you have a little brown in rust, so I'm just going to put a little bit of brown here and there. I do not change my brush. I keep using my same brush and just put a little bit of brown on there. And you can always add more. Let me get a little bit more brown. This was a new brush, so it's not as stiff as some of the other ones. Okay, and put a little brown in here. A little brown right there. And just kind of bring that back to a little bit. And then if you don't have enough, go back in your other colors. I'm going to use a little bit of the elephant again. I need a little bit of elephant right in here to make that look a little bit more rusty. Just a little bit. So just play with it. Just see what you like and then do what you like. Whatever colors you like. Use what you like. You definitely want a little orange in there because you know you have some orange rust. And you also can add a little bit of red if you want to. So if you want to add a little bit of a more of a red color. You could put just a tad of red in there. I'm going to leave this one in the oranges. And I'm going to put a little bit more of that elephant right on there. And I'm liking the way that came out. See how it's got the rust? You could do some on the back if you want as well. One thing I like about this is this will hang on a hook. So if you've got a little place outside, a little garden center, or you've got a patio or somewhere that you can hang these up, they would be really cute. Now, if you're going to put it outside, I'd go ahead and seal it with some decoupage medium. I love to use the force fill from Paint Pixie. I just started using that. It's a good product. I like using it. Let's put just a little bit more of the terracotta on here in places. Let's just add, that gives it a little bit of a dark orange. We'll put a little bit more of that in there. You could also put it on your transfer if you wanted to. I'm just going to put some right here at the end to make it look more rusty. Then if you wanted to do more than that, or if you want to do the whole thing, you can do that. Totally up to you. If you want to put more in here, you can do that as well. We're going to be covering that up with a little seed packet, so it's not going to show that much. But you definitely could, and you could put a little bit on your edge too. So if you just want to put a little bit of orange there on the edge, just to make it look a little bit more rusty, you can do that. And some of you have seen me do some of these, and I'm going to cover up that little screw right there that holds the handle on. And there we go. I'm liking it so far. Y'all liking it? Let's dry it up just a little bit. Now, if you wanted it a little bit lighter, you could put a little bit of cream, but you don't see too much cream in rust. So I use that more for the bright silver that I want to make it look more of a hammered or that look, then I would use a little bit of cream on that. So we're going to dry this up a little bit so that our paint is dry. Hey, good to see you today. Welcome. And then you can add a little bit of black in there if you want to. So if you feel like you don't like the color of the brown, add a little bit more black and that will work as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and take this little clothespin. These are just some of those little doll clothespins. You can get them at the Dollar Tree. So we got this at Dollar Tree, this from Dollar Tree. So this is going to be a quick Dollar Tree, a lot of Dollar Tree items to make it be very affordable. I love some budget. And we're just going to take a little bit of the brown and put it on our little piece here that we're going to use for a clothespin. If y'all seen the old clothespins, they look like this. So I had to get these when I found them. And we're just going to put a little bit of our brown that we have out and get me another little touch of the fudge sickle. I also love to use the chalk Java. I'm almost out of Java, so I got to buy some more of that. Yeah, I love to give you a few little tips to help you out. That is the kind of creating that I do, is I love to give tips and help other people. And I also like some budget friendly. Now, they still had some of these at my Dollar Tree. They haven't put the fall out yet. They've got school out. So they may still have a few. If not, just look around your garden centers and see if you see some on sale. Or it's a good project for you to do next year. But I still saw some at mine, but I don't know if yours still carries them. They've got a lot of things marked down for the summer. You know, they'll start marking things down after July 4th. So, you know, look for a bargain. You may find one. So now we got our clothespin. See the difference? Now we've got it looking a little bit more antique. Do you like that? Yes, it gives you a little bit better to match with their other things, right? Absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm not brand new to YouTube. I've been on YouTube a while. I just haven't done a lot of lives here. So I am building my page, or excuse me, building my, I am too used to the other, building my channel so that I can get some more people watching and do even more here on this channel. And you put in the comments if you like some budget-friendly things. I've got some of those. I do a lot of decoupage. So I have this sunflower packet that I got for planting my sunflowers, and I kept it because I like to keep these and craft with them. And we're going to put it just over on this side over here without covering up all of our transfer. And we're going to use this like a little clothespin here. And we're just going to put that right over there. Now you could find some little shorter ones, or I may cut it up just a little bit more. I could do that with my saw and cut it up a little bit, but I still think it'll be cute. So we got that right there. And then you could put some greenery on there, something if you want. I kind of like it plain. I think we'll do a little bow for it. So let me get some ribbons here. There it went. Okay, at first I thought I was missing my little bow dabber. I just use a bow dabber. I love some rag bows. Rag bows are more my favorite than using ribbons. You'll find that I love the material. So that's what I like to go with, and these are so easy to use, and we're not going to need a real big bow up there at the top because you just want a little something to put on there. So we're going to just use some rag material that I have, and y'all, I just get it from different places. I order some. This was a piece of this. I forgot what this came from. I want to say it was a piece, and I see it's got a little line right here. I'm going to cut this off just a little bit. I love to take material, an old sheet. That's what it came from. And then I just like to rip mine. I love ripping some material. So see how easy it is, and then just pull your strings off. It's just such a good therapy. If you need therapy one day, instead of going and paying for it, get you some material and just rip it. It feels so good just to rip some material. It's a good way to get some of that anxiety away. And then I'm just going to take this one and probably put 2 loops with it. It's a longer. So this came from an old bed sheet. I made sure that that it was bleached. And then if you have one that's just stained from just being old, you can take it, soak it in. I cut pieces and then I soak them. And I cut big pieces and soak them, not just the strips like this. I soak the whole big piece of material in some coffee stain and make it look more vintage, and then you can hang it up to dry. Some people bake theirs. I don't bake mine often. I usually hang mine outside on the patio and let it air dry. And you can get that. I have it featured on my Facebook page, but I'll tell you real quickly the solution. It's 1 cup of lukewarm water and a half a cup of instant coffee. Make sure that it's instant coffee. It's not going to work with regular coffee. You're going to need some instant coffee. You want 2 tablespoons of vanilla and 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Now you can leave the cinnamon out if you want to, and you could put a different spice, but the cinnamon makes it gooky, for another word, I don't know how else to say it, on the bottom, so that when you're dipping up to use it, it's got this kind of clumpy stuff that looks so good on vintage things. If you don't like that look, then simply just put your coffee and your instant coffee in that and some vanilla, and then don't add as much cinnamon if you want to. Get you the inexpensive cinnamon. Go to dollar store, anywhere you want to, and get some cinnamon. Get the imitation vanilla. Do not pay for regular vanilla. It smells, the scent is the same. So don't let that deter you at all. And then this is a piece of muslin that I had that's got a little knot. Let me get that out. And then sometimes you have some strings you have to pull off. Don't let that bother you. And then just put that right there. Good. I'm glad you're here. All right, and then let's put a little piece of this. This has got some sunflowers and some other things in it. I think this came either from Walmart. I really think it came from Walmart. I don't think it's Dollar Tree. It was a bigger piece, so it may have. But Dollar Tree sometimes has some really good material as well, if you can find it as soon as they put it out. And I found some pieces there as well. But sometimes I want a longer strip, so I go ahead and buy at least 1/4 of a yard. Or get some of those little strips they have also at Walmart. So I think this will be big enough for our I'm thinking this will be big enough. I think it will be. I think it will be. We'll just put those back over there out of the way. And I think this will be plenty big. And I did cut my string a little longer just to make sure I could kind of wrap it, maybe wrap it around there and add some glue. Because y'all know metal, you do have to have either two kinds of glue, because your hot glue is going to not do as well on metal. It doesn't hold it as well. And then when I tie the back of these, I go ahead and tie it through once and then wrap it back around twice, and that's going to give it a good hold, just like that. You can leave these on there if you want to, or you can cut them off. So let's see how they'll work on her. I'm going to fluff this up. I just shape mine, kind of fluff it out, pull it around. You can pull on these, you can make them big, you can make them small, just some little loops. And that's got some pretty colors in it to go for a fall. Let's just see if we can just tie this around. And then I'm going to put a little glue as well. If we can tie it on there a little bit, that's going to give it a good hold. So we're just going to tie it around twice. Once, twice. And then I'm going to give it another little hold here. Just like that. And you can leave these little strings on there if you want to. It does not hurt to leave them on. We'll cut that one the same size as the other one. Okay, and we might want it right here, so we'd have to trim those a little bit. Or you can move it up a little bit and put it a little bit higher. So I think we'll do that. We're going to put just a tad of hot glue on it. Just like that. And then I'm going to fix that back. I kind of knocked it as I was. Okay, we'll put this one back on. Put our clothespin. Now, if you want to glue your clothespin to the back, you could do that. I thought I would just leave it like that, and that way we could change things out that we might want to put on there. I'm going to turn that just a little bit. And then I think we'll take a sunflower and put right here in the middle. So let's see. You could put some sunflowers on here if you wanted to. So that's another thing. It's just kind of do what you like. You definitely could. Let's see which sunflower we want. Let's do this one. It's got a little bit more orange in it. And let's put that one on there. So I'm just going to trim the edge back here. And then I'm just going to put that one right there. A little hot glue. And I don't think it's going to need any others. I think that's going to be cute. We can trim this up just a little bit. This side, I just kind of cut mine up just like that, just at an angle. At least a little bit more. We'll cut those at an angle. We'll cut a few on this side so it'll kind of match. Just cut them off just a little bit wherever you want them. And a raggy bow does not have to all be even. So there you go. Now we can put a screw or nail through here and hang this outside after we seal it. So if I'm going to put this outside, my patio, I don't usually have any trouble because I've got a covered patio, but also as you walk out my back door, it's bricked in. So it makes it a little easier for me not to have to put too much. But I do like to either spray. My favorite is to spray the matte sealer, just the 2-time sealer, 2X, and just spray it on there. And that gives it a good spray. And then you're able to change this out if you want to with some different ribbon. Do y'all like that one? Let me know in the comments if you like that one. Now here's our other one, and we're going to put a little bird on this one. And this had the pink on there. I decided to paint over the pink, and I just took a little bit of my black chalk paint from Home Decor. Chalk paint does really well on this it's kind of a rubberized handle, and it does real well on there. So let's see if I've still got enough black paint out. If not, we can get some more, and let's see if we can get that rest of that painted up. So I'm just taking that paint and painting over. I painted over all the pink on here and just leaving it all black. And I like that better. But you can definitely leave the pink if you want. But then that way I can use it on for a while and don't have to put pink flowers on it. I'm just thinking of the colors. But you definitely could put any colors that you want. Now you can also rust this one up. So let's rust this one up just a little bit more than we did the other one. Oh, good to know. Well, you're welcome. Okay, we're just going to take this one, and we're just going to put some of this just everywhere, and we can lighten it up. So we're going to put pretty much, fill this in a little bit. And that's all you want to do is just pounce, and you can put a little bit more in places, and we'll put a little bit up our handle, because we're going to put a bird on here, so it's not going to show a whole lot. Now let's take a little bit of our rust color, a little cinnamon stick, and it is an acrylic. I'm going to just put that on there, and it kind of does fine being acrylic with your chalk paints. But it is a good acrylic. The Decor's pretty good, Americana. It works pretty well with these type of projects. So you're just going to put a little bit of that. And you'll see a little bit of difference in that and your orange. And sometimes you can get too much, but that's okay. You just lighten it up a little bit. So now let's take, let me get a little bit more of that elephant gray. I kind of used all of it. Let me get a little bit of it, because you do have a little gray in there. Let me get this out with my little... I'm about to run out of these paints, but I am changing this to another paint, so I'm just trying to use these up. Okay, we get a little bit here of the gray. Let me pounce that off just a little bit. Okay, and this is going to lighten it up. Now once we get the things on here, it'll look a little better. This is just your beginning steps. Now you can fill it all in, or you can fill a little bit in. Totally up to you. So, you know, right now it looks kind of a mess, but that's okay, because you're going to be pouncing your paint on here. And you will be lightening it up a little bit. This is where if you want to use a little bit of cream to lighten it, you can do that as well. So let's put a little brown in it now. And it's something that you just kind of have to play with. You just have to use your brush and just keep playing with it till you kind of get it where you want. And it can be a light or a dark brown. I usually use a dark. And just put it around. Just kind of fill in. You can leave a little bit of that black showing out as well. But you're just beginning to fill it in just a little bit. And if it looks a little too dark, you can always add a little of that cream. I just try to go back with a little bit of gray and tone it back down just a little bit with my gray. And then I'm going to go back with the brown, because the brown is going to make it look more rusty. There's no certain way you have to do this. Just do it like you like. Just like this. And then I've just got that brown kind of blended in with what we have here. And you can put a little bit on the edge if you want to. But see? Then we've made it look kind of dirty and rusty and old. Let's put a little bit right up in here on the handle. We'll just take our colors back. Get a little bit off. And then just go back with that. A little bit of our orange. There you go. And that needs just a tad more of a little bit of orange to make it look a little bit more rusty. There we go. Now, you got your little handle done. Let's dry this up. We're going to put a bird on here. Like a little bird made a nest on here. I'm hoping that you're going to enjoy this video. Share it out on YouTube. Let's dry that. And this is going to be a little hot after you dry it, so just be careful. Don't burn your fingers when you put your other elements on here. Because I believe we're going to put it to the side just a little bit, let that kind of cool off a little bit. Let's work on our little bird nest. Now this was a little bird nest that I got at like Easter last year, after Easter, on sale, and had different colored eggs, and I had one that was blue, so I just painted the other ones blue, put a little speckle on there, made that work. Let's put a little bit of items in our bird nest here. So we might put a little fern. Let's put a little greenery. Got some greenery, some little moss right here. Let's put some little moss in here. You know that birds just gather up whatever they can find, and that's what they use for their nest. We're just going to take a little bit and put right in here and a little bit right here. This was a set of 4 little nests, and I can't remember exactly where they came from. But I hope to find some more next season, because they come in really handy for all kinds of things. Now, a lot of you think that birds just build in the spring. Well, I live in the South, and they build here all the time. That we've got nests here now, and they're still, even though they have a time that they usually do. Sometimes it's been so warm here this summer, maybe they're confused, because we've still seen a lot of bird nests, and there's a lot up in the trees as well. And I know there is because there's a hawk that's been coming around, and I can hear the birds squawking because I know that they still have some babies in their nest. So they nest here maybe longer than they do in some of the other climates. So that little fern looks good in there. I like that. Let's put a little greenery. I've got some of this greenery here. This is just some little berry greenery. I really love this greenery. It's one of my favorites. Let's put a little bit of that in there. Cut a few pieces of that off. See if we can put a little bit of that in. And we'll put a little bit more glue. Just, you don't need a ton, just a little bit. We'll put that right there. Yeah, I like the berries in there. That looks good. It's a little bit darker color. And I'm going to put a little bit of this as well. This is, both of these came from the Hobby Lobby. They have some great greenery, and I usually buy it in the garland and then cut it up. Get a better buy that way. Instead of just buying them single, buy you a garland, cut it up. And I'm going to put a little bit of that in there and a little bit of our berry over on this side. That's going to give it some little things in its nest. And let's put a little bit right up in here to give it another look. Oh, one thing I was going to do on that other one is stick a bee on there. So I'll go back and do that. And then we've just got that right there. And that's going to give it just some other little elements for our nest. And that's probably enough. It's probably enough. Now, my little bird's tail broke. And sometimes you can find these really inexpensive at places that have little tail broken and stuff. Sometimes I mark them down. I've been to Hobby Lobby and found some that had and this may have come, I know it came from Hobby Lobby, it may have come this way. And they'll go ahead and mark it down a little bit more for you sometimes, because you can turn it around, put your little greenery on its bottom and cover up some of that brokenness. So I'm just going to put a little extra greenery on here. Just a little bit of extra moss, and you're not even going to be able to see it. And it won't matter because we're going to turn it around. So there you go. Now she's got a little extra, and I've got a little stick, so we might put that on there. And let's go ahead and stick our bee on here real quick. We'll let that cool down just a minute. Let's put our little bee on here. So I've got some of these little bees. You can order these. You can find some at some of the stores, but I really like these. They're just cute. So I'm going to put a little bee on there on top of this right here. And that just made it a little cuter. There we go. Whoop. I keep knocking that. Every time I turn around, I'm knocking it. So I'm probably going to go ahead and glue it on. There we go. You can just barely knock it and it does that. But if we put a little glue here on the back, I think it'll kind of hold it. And you can always take that off and change it. Hot glue is easy to get off. You just use your heat tool, heat it right up, and it'll work. So let's put that back over there out of our way. And let's see what we can do with this one. So I'm thinking the little nest, it may have to go here at the bottom and then put our little bird above it. So that might be cute. I'm liking that. Let's try that. Now, I am using some hot glue. And it may not hold that well, but I did, with the paint on the bottom, sometimes it will. So we're going to see if we put enough hot glue, if that'll kind of hold that like we want. I'm going to press down a little bit on it. See if we can make sure that holds. It looks like it's going to hold. We're going to put a little piece of a stick right here. Just a little piece. This is a stick out of my yard. I take them and put them in the freezer. Some people bake them. I just put mine in the freezer, and that helps kill the bugs. Because you do have some bugs sometimes in these pieces that you get out of your yard. So always remember to do something to keep the bugs out. So you want to kind of put them in a bag and put them in your freezer, and that'll help kill the bugs. Now let's see if we can work with our little bird here and put it above it. It may have to take it a minute to kind of set up. And then if we put our little bird here, you can't even tell it doesn't have a tail. I think it'll be darling. And that's going to go right in there. Right there. She is singing. I think that's going to be cute. I may have to put a little bit more glue. Let me hold that just a moment. Okay, I've got another little piece of stick left, so I'm just going to stick it down in this nest. Y'all know how they have sticks and everything else. Let's just put our little stick down in there and use that up. We won't have to waste it. Just put our little stick right there. And let's take... Got a little bit right there. Let's take a couple of flowers and put on here. Now, it doesn't matter what kind of flowers you want to put. I've got some white. I've got some yellow. I've got some little orange one. And I think I'll put a little bit of the orange. And I'm deciding if I want to put it. I think I'm going to put some things right here on this edge, y'all, instead of in our nest. I think I'll put me a little bit of hot glue. And then I'm going to attach some greenery, maybe a bigger flower here. Just put that down right there in the hot glue. Oh, that's kind of cute. And let's put just a little bit of this greenery behind it. I pick up greenery all kinds of places. I don't really have a particular place, but sometimes you can find some at Walmart and other stores that will do the trick. But I do find some at Dollar Tree, but I really like some of this now. And Joann's always has a good deal on flowers, and you can find some there. So that just gave it another little look, and I might put a little bow on her. I don't know. And something else that I like is rusty bells. So you can add some little rusty bells. And I think we're just going to add some jute to this instead of putting a bow. I kind of like it plain, just to put a little bit of, I'm going to put the heavier jute in here, and I'm just going to stick it through. We're just going to make it, and I think I'm going to take a little rusty bell. I may have to glue that on. I don't know that I'll be able to get it. I may have to use the thinner. It might go through here. Let's see if we can push it through. I think I've got one of those little sticks here with a point. Let me see if I've got one with a point. Let's see if we can get it through with this. If not, we might use the thinner jute, but usually you can kind of push it through there a little bit. And just take your little pliers and pull it And sometimes you can't get all the threads through and you have to use the thinner jute. We're going to try to push that on through. Let's see. We almost have it. We almost have it. Well, it won't quite. There's one that didn't do. Okay, let's do it this way. Let's take that off and do the thinner. We'll just use thinner. It'll work. It'll work. We'll just put the thinner jute through there. The thick jute would have been cute and you could glue it on, but I wanted to go ahead and just kind of put it through. So there we go. Now we've got a little rusty bell. Just for a different look, y'all, just to make it look a little bit more rustic and kind of match what I did on the other. Not something you have to do. And I rust my own bells, so I take them out. I buy them a lot of times when they're on sale in silver, gold, whatever color you want. And then I take them and I spray them with the Rust-Oleum primer. And then you have a little bell. So we also could tie the bell on, or you could put it up this way. I've got some glue stuff and we'll just get that off. So then you got a little bell on there. You can put a little bow on your bird, whatever you'd like to do. You can add some more florals. If that's not enough florals, you can add more. You can add a little sunflower on there if you want to, and that'll kind of go for fall. So here's a little bitty sunflower I have. Let's stick it on. Right there. I like the little sunflower, and then let's put one little piece of this up behind it. Just to bring some more greenery in. There we go. Now that looks cute. So here's the second one. You like it? Let me know in the comments if you like it. And y'all, we got a lot of glue stuff going on here, and I'm going to get all that off when I get off. I just use my blow heat tool and just get those all off, and you can bring them all off. And all I did was just use some Dollar Tree little shovels, little diggers. That's all I did. So there we go with that. And your little bell on there just to give it another little look. You can add other things on here. You could put a bow on here if you want to. Truly up to what you want to do. So that's what I have for you today. I hope that you've enjoyed my video and that you will subscribe to my channel. And I appreciate you being here and sharing with me today. And have a wonderful and blessed day. Okay.